It's Monday, the 5th of April.
Kia ora and welcome to Flipside. Coming up tonight, we've all done it before, but some of us are worse than others. Are you one of those people who talk on the phone while driving, text while driving, play Snake on your phone while driving? Well, the laws are set to change. We take a look at dangerous driving habits.
Now, if you found a bunch of boring old slides in a shop, what would you do? Why make a play out of it? Of course, Sasha checks out Aroha Aotearoa.
And you know what job you want. The problem is everyone else wants it too. How do you get yourself noticed so you can get yourself employed? We talked to some people who managed to stand out from the crowd. And in the studio tonight, we talked to Anthony Crane. He's a careers and employment manager with some useful tips in this area.
Email your questions to flipside@tvnz.co.nz or text us. Use the keyword flip, leave a space, type in your question and send that off to 2211. It's only going to sting you 50 cents, including GST.
Yes, but don't do it while you're driving. Probably wouldn't work unless you've got a tally in your car. Before all that, though, it's time for a look at tonight's news headlines.
Well, pressure on the government continues this week as it unveils its plan to deal with the foreshore and seabed. At least two Māori Labour MPs are considering voting against the bill after coming under pressure from iwi groups. Nanaia Mahuta is expected to oppose the legislation, but the big question is whether Tariana Turia will be sacked as a minister if she votes against the government. At last, some good news for the government, though. Two recent polls have shown National losing its lead over Labour. One poll had Labour and National running equal. The other gave Labour a 4-point lead. It's been a long time coming, but the price of sending a letter has finally given in to inflation. 40 cents has been the price for a standard letter since 1991, but New Zealand Post have now bumped it up to 45 cents. The price of fast post has also gone up for the first time in 15 years from 80 to 90 cents, a whole 10 cents. You can still use your old stamps if you got them, but you'll have to put an extra 5-cent stamp on each time. Overseas, as Spanish police closed in on one of the suspected masterminds of last week's train bombing, the man detonated another bomb, killing himself, 3 accomplices and a policeman. The bomb ripped apart a 5-storey apartment block and damaged nearby buildings. Police believe the same group was behind not only the Madrid bombings, which killed 191 people, but also a bomb found buried under a high-speed train line. Scientists are on the brink of finding out what it is that makes us so different from chimpanzees. Well, apart from the whole body covered in hair and swinging from trees thing, that is. A team of British experts have been comparing the DNA of humans with that of our closest relatives. While we're identical as much as 99.4% of the time, they believe the differences relating to speech and language hold the key to what makes us human. In sports, as we told you last week, Australian swimming legend Ian Thorpe was disqualified from the 400 metres freestyle due to false starts, meaning he won't compete in the event at Athens. Well, now, fellow swimmer Craig Stevens says he's considering giving up going so Thorpe can take his place in the team. The public and the media in Australia are also calling for Thorpe to be given another chance, but Australian swimming officials are standing firm. And finally, the New Zealand under-19s rugby side continue their winning ways at the World Champs in South Africa. They're now through to the semi-finals after thrashing Australia 30-5. You go, boys.
Thank you, Evie, and some work in rugby over the weekend. Right, it's poll time for you to have a say. As you heard in the news, New Zealand Post have put the price of sending a letter up from 40 to 45 cents. But how does it affect you? In this world of email, cell phones and text messages, when was the last time you put pen to paper and wrote a good old-fashioned letter? Now, we're not talking about writing to the council to get off your parking fines either, but a real letter, you know, telling stories and stuff, you know, love life, what's going on, how much you're getting paid, all that sort of stuff. How about it? Do you still write letters? tvnz.co.nz. If you want to vote online, just find the Flipside logo and click on it. Or, of course, use your cell phone and text in your vote. Now, the keyword to use is FS poll. Then you put a little space, and then you put a yes or a no, depending on what you think. And you send those off to 2211. As you can see there, we'll give you some results towards the end of the show. We've all done it, driving down the road. Maybe you're running a little late, so you make a phone call, or worse still, a text. Well, that's about to change. A ban on motorists talking on the phone while driving could be law by the end of the year. Ollie explains.
Cell phones were blamed for 32 crashes in 2002, and 45 crashes just last year.
And this year's statistics are already on the rise. Last week, a cyclist was killed in Christchurch by a young man who police say was using his cell phone.
Tomorrow, the government will hear a proposal from the Land Transport Safety Authority, who want to make it illegal for drivers to use handheld phones while driving. The ban would see New Zealand move into line with England, Japan and Australia, where drivers can be fined as much as $150 for using a phone without a hands-free kit.
We can't rest on our laurels, and that you have to keep on introducing new measures, and you have to keep on doing new things if you expect to carry on reducing the road toll.
While banning handheld phones in place of hands-free kits like this one will ensure that drivers use both hands on the wheel, some say that isn't enough, as it's the actual conversation that leads to the accidents.
If the LTSA's proposal goes through, the new law could be in place before the end of the year.
Well, probably about time. Coming up, Kelly Osborne follows in the family tradition and checks herself into rehab. The Simpsons go on strike. And as we investigate how to get the job everyone else wants, we ask, have you ever lied on your CV?
Actually, no.
Maybe like glamorize what you've said?
No, I'm really a nerd. No.
I just got my friends to, this was overseas actually, got my friends to pretend they used to be my boss.
No, I haven't. Oh.
I think most people do to an extent, because as part and parcel of getting a job, if you just put down that you're an ordinary average Joe person, you're not really going to get very far.
The Osbornes know that Christmas time is a family time. That's why they hire a snow machine, feed toys to the dogs, and invite the whole world over. Including Mike Myers, Britney Spears, and Jessica Simpson. The Osbornes, Wednesday at 9, TV2.
Look this good this winter. Men's fashion pants from $24.99. Women's pants from $19.99. Men's jackets from $34.99. Women's jackets from $19.99. Men's fashion tops from $9.99. Women's tops from $12.99. The Warehouse has it. You'll love the clothes and you'll love the price.
Bit of a tip. We question the road code. Can you drive a vehicle with an unsecured load? It would appear the answer is not A. Yes, if driving less than 20 k's.
Put your driving knowledge to the test and you could win a Toyota Avensis. Visit the Up to Scratch website for details.
Who needs long-last lipsticks that dry out? Maybelline invents new Forever Lip Color. Long-wearing color stays on smooth hour after hour. So smooth, it won't dare flake or dry out. Forever. New Forever Lip Color.
Easy coffee, Al.
Oh, thanks, mate. Someone asked me the other day if I used Equal because I wanted to lose weight. With all the walking I do, I just like the taste. And taste is really important to me.
Thanks, Alistair.
All right. See you soon. Hey, you too.
More points, more rewards. Flyby's Mega Points are here. So check your Flyby's April Escape magazine for your personalised Mega Point offers and get the rewards you really deserve even faster.
Some air fresheners work at first, but then lose their intensity quickly. Crystal Air is concentrated to last longer with a consistently fresh scent for up to 4 weeks. Try mandarin and green tea, new from Airwick.
on the move.
如果遲翻呢個寶寶，
Live from Taupo.
Are you going?
I will be going. I will be going.
Oh, you bought a ticket already?
Already?
Oh, well done, because they're sold out.
And asking the tough questions.
How do you know which one is green when everywhere is green?
Hyundai Sports Cafe, Wednesday 9:30 TV2.
Gotta welcome back. So you've done your education and now you're looking for your big break into that dream job. Well, it's a tough world out there. Evie investigates what some people do to stand out from the competition.
And the $50,000 workplace takeover is on with Tasha just after 10 o'clock this morning. Keep listening and find out how if you...
They'll do anything. Well, we had a guy who jumped off the harbour bridge. He was, completely scared of heights, but he jumped off the harbour bridge 3 times, which is, and he was hyperventilating on the way to doing it, but he still did it, just to get a job.
It's a bit sadistic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
People are paying a lot for their educations these days, but once you've got your ticket, how the hell do you stand out from the crowd?
I think if you know someone who knows someone who lets you get that foot in the door, who actually gives you the chance to express or show your talent, then that'll help. But at the end of the day, I think it also helps if you've just got a real passion for it.
Something Sarah Moore discovered pretty quickly.
I wanted to work with books. I wanted to combine my passion for books and event management and actually get into book publicity. I was so determined, and I went around telling everybody what I wanted to do. Everyone I met, especially at the Readers and Writers Festival, because I met a lot of people in the industry.
Sarah went for a job in publicity at Penguin Books, but they turned her down.
Mainly due to the fact that I didn't have enough media experience. Since then, I've started doing book reviews on George FM. That was something. You've got to create your own opportunities.
She also went back into retail work at a bookstore and made one other vital move. She kept Penguin updated with her progress. 2 weeks ago, Sarah got a phone call.
When did you start work? I started on Thursday. Thursday last week. This is my third day.
How does it feel?
Really good. I've got a lot to learn, but I'm very excited.
Paul Holmes didn't get to where he is, after 6 months. Took him a long time to get to the level of skill that he's at as well. So.
And how did Mike Putty get his job with you?
What did Mike do? No, Mike just worked on another radio station, and he was, a really cool person, and I feel like I'm lying.
Oh, you blowing the smoke up his ass.
Yeah, thanks, Leon. Nice haircut, by the way. So what can you do to stand out from the crowd? Joining us in the studio is Anthony Crane. He works at Auckland University as a careers and employment manager. Thank you for coming in, Anthony. Some great stories there of successful breaking into industry jobs, though. What's more important to have? Is it the grades or is it the work experience?
I think in the end it's probably the experience, right? But it's a package. You've got to have some reasonable grades, not D's, like some of us. You've got to have good experience, and what you've really got to have is the motivation, getting off your backside and out there and looking for work.
When you're out looking for work, as brought up in the story, you can sometimes go overboard by phoning an employer too much, going, I want a job, I want a job. How do you know when to leave it?
You'll know.
Right.
What, you again?
Yeah,
you'll get a sense. But you should do this nonetheless. You need to get out there, you need to make the calls, you need to be persistent. But you also need to research where those jobs are. There's no point in just phoning up anybody that you can find. You need to read the newspaper, do some research, in particular read the newspaper. There's so much in there. You see, such and such a company has just done a deal. You phone up and say, I understand you're expanding. I'm interested in your sort of business.
Good tip, good tip. Sarah mentioned as well that she did a lot of networking at relevant places. How important do you think that is?
That's crucial. I mean,
it's right place, right time for me for a lot of my jobs, just knowing people in the right places, really.
Yeah, my careers are accidental things.
Right.
We talk about planning them, but we really don't. In the end, what we do is plan to have the skills available to take advantage of the opportunities that we get. We don't know where they're coming from, we don't know when they're coming around the corner, but when they're there, we've got to be able to grab them, and we end up doing things that we really never thought we'd do. I didn't think I'd work at a university. I loved it, and I do love it now. Your story too. So it really is a matter of being able to take your chances when they come and being flexible and being open-minded.
When it comes to the work experience issue, how often should you work for free? Because I know a lot of people, they look at their dream job, they go, cool, I'll do anything for free. How long? Do you put a time limit on that?
Yes, do that if it's the best way you can get in.
Right.
make sure you know at the outset, do they really have paid work here at some point? You know, or are you wasting your investment? And you'll start to know when you think when you're getting ripped off. I would have thought if after a couple of months you're still not getting anything back from this, I would have thought, no, maybe I might cast my net somewhere else.
Yeah,
That's called slavery, yeah.
Now look, when you're putting together a CV, because they have changed over the years, I used to put mine in my nice little glossy, you know, portfolio thing that we had, and they've changed a lot. How much is too much? I've read a couple of pages is probably all you need nowadays. True?
Generally true. The real rule, though, is how long does it take me to be bored when I'm reading it.
Okay.
And it's true also of the covering letter. And let me stress that the two documents are closely related, and if anything, the covering letter is slightly more important, because when I open it, it's the first thing I see.
Right.
And that first paragraph is the most crucial real estate.
Can you give us an example of what should be in that first paragraph?
Okay, this comes from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They told me the story about a fellow who opened his covering letter by saying, "Dear Kirsty," for this was the person he was writing to, "I have awakened on the banks of the Thames to watch the sunrise. I have been attacked by an elephant." Twice.
Nice.
Etc., etc., etc. And what he was able to demonstrate was that he had life experience and so on and so forth. And having grabbed their attention with this thing, he then went on to talk about his marks and his work and so on. The most boring thing that you can do in a covering letter, and a way to completely lose it, is to say, "Dear John," when your name's Mike,
yeah.
"I wish to apply for the position that you advertised on page 16 of the Herald." I know!
That's page 16, yeah. Okay.
Why are you applying?
Okay, no, that's good, that's good. What about the quirky things? You know, maybe you're applying to work at the cookie factory and you send in a cookie, you know? I mean, maybe you're auditioning for Peter Jackson's movie and you dress up in the Hong Kong suits.
That can work. You've got to be careful, but it can work. One thing that goes wrong sometimes is you've got to make it easy for me to handle. I once received an application that had the cover etched, you know, with a magnifying glass in plywood, which looked really cool, but I couldn't fit it through the fax.
Okay, good tips, good tips. Is there a way to remember sort of, you know, or a phrase that we can use to help us remember sort of the things to keep in a CV?
I call it the CRISP application.
Right.
And CRISP stands for clear, relevant, interesting, seductive, and professional.
Okay.
And an application needs to meet those 5 criteria in order to look better than most of the second-rate trash that actually is sent in.
What do you think is the most common mistake people make when they send in a CV?
They get names wrong.
Right.
They forget that they need to explain what they have to offer an employer instead of saying what they want. An employer's not really interested in what you want. What they're interested in is what they've got.
Right.
And have you got it?
Is it harder to get jobs nowadays, you think? A lot of competition out there.
Yeah, a lot of different jobs as well.
Right.
You know, we've had the rise of call centres. They didn't exist when I was young. Telephones barely existed when I was young, mate.
Come on, Anthony.
But, well, cell phones anyway. I remember them this week. But anyway, yes, there are new jobs, so that has improved the labour market. There are more jobs out there now than there used to be. There are also more people. More people competing for them, more people getting educated. Yeah, it's a very competitive world to live in.
Well, thank you so much for your tips. And remember, folks, the CRISP application, it's C for clear, R for relevant, I for interesting, S for seductive, and P for professional. There it is. Look at that. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Keep it crisp. Thank you.
Right,
cheers. Coming up, whether it's nobody puts baby in a corner or you can't handle
your Easter holiday special, Thursday.
This is about winning. You ripped off those cheers.
To be the best, you have to stand out from the rest.
We need a new routine, and we've got less than 3 weeks to nationals.
The feel-good family favourite. These are Spirit Fingers. Comedy gold.
Oh, don't play dumb. We're better at it than you.
Kirsten Dunst, Eliza Dushku.
Bring it.
Bring it on. Your Easter movie, Thursday, 7:30, TV2.
Who needs long-last lipsticks that dry out? Maybelline's got one that lasts and stays on smooth forever. New Maybelline Forever Lip Color. Long-wearing color stays on hour after hour after hour. The big news? It won't dare flake or dry out. Smooth Glide formula keeps color fresh. Lips smooth.
How smooth is that?
Can your long-last lipstick pass the smooth check? New Forever Lip Color. Stays on long, stays on smooth, in one amazing stick.
Forever. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. At Kmart, we're cutting the cost of
of Easter with 20% off all men's, women's and kids underwear, socks, hosiery and sleepwear until Saturday. So for 20% off all underwear, socks, hosiery and sleepwear, hop into Kmart, cutting the cost of living this Easter.
And now I'm going to give him one long night of hellish heartburn.
No, not new Gavilast.
New Gavilast works for up to 12 hours to help put out the fire of heartburn and indigestion.
We're recruiting for soldiers and officers right now, so if you've got what it takes, get in touch. Don't let the opportunity pass you by.
Kathmandu's Easter sale is now on, with 50% off most sale items. Hurry while stocks last at Kathmandu's spectacular Easter sale, now on.
I try to manage risk by avoiding danger.
Life's about to get interesting. Along came Polly.
Gold top socks are so comfortable. You won't want to wear anything else.
The Frontrunner Treadfit system guarantees the correct shoe for you, or we will replace them. The new advanced ASICS range of netball, running, walking and cross-training shoes includes the latest Kayano running and the Gel Focus netball shoes. New ASICS at the Frontrunner, you still can't beat that.
In March this year, 20 voluntary organisations from throughout New Zealand were recognised at the Trustpower National Community Awards. The overall winner was Palmerston Gateway to Gold Charitable Trust from Otago.
When the last bank left town, we opened our own banking service. Our next project was the East Otago Youth Centre and the skateboard ramp for our local youth.
So what's your latest project?
Well, we're working on a new site for this, for the Palmerston Butterfly and Bird Haven.
Get involved in your local community and see what a difference you can make.
Local Rocket Landscape Supplies Easter sale is now on. Hurry in for up to 30% off selected stock. If you need landscaping supplies, this is the sale for you. Rock in now for the Easter sale at Local Rocket Landscape Supplies.
Hey, welcome back. Look at the weather now. Well, it got a little chillier in the wind department, but the sun still managed to shine over most of the country in the weekend. However, the hails and southerlies will hit us tomorrow and most likely be one of the coldest days of the year. Rain and southerlies with hail and thunder for most of the North Island. Expect a high of just 16 degrees with the risk of some snow on the desert road. Now, the South Island is pretty much the same. Showery with hail and strong southerlies, bringing snow down to 500 metres for Canterbury, Southland and Otago. The high expected tomorrow is just 10 degrees. Speaking of snow, announced today, Mount Hutt is getting a 10,000 square metre terrain park. Wicked. And the bulldozers are going to be there. The boarders are excited. You can shop around for those pre-season passes. They are still on sale. Now, a quick swell check for you. Piha and Fitzroy are pumping on a 2.5 southwest swell, half a metre for the Mount and 1.5 metres of south swell for Wainui. The South Island, with all that bad weather, has 2.5 to 3 metre, mainly southerly swells, so be careful and to check it out along with all the up-to-date weather guff. Medphone know it, 0900 999 and use your area code. Kiwi blokes who take quiet pride in their freshly painted fences. Women who always bring a plate. Ordinary New Zealanders living their lives in the 1960s was the impetus for the play Aotearoa. A look at people getting caught up in events that define our nation. Sasha went and had a squiz.
This is young Nick's head, where New Zealand was first sighted by Europeans. And here too, where Europeans and Maori first clashed in a battle on the water.
Aroha Aotearoa, Love New Zealand, a play which attempts to shed some light on our not-so-colourful past.
Towards the end of last year, we found this collection of about 500 slides in this Wellington junk shop, and we're like, far out. And they were all these really boring slides from like people's lives from the 1960s. And it wasn't like commercial slides or anything. These were really mundane chores that ordinary New Zealanders were doing. And we've based the scenes on these slides.
Don't go yawning yet. Along with young thespian Kip Chapman is James Milne, a musician from the Brunettes. Jennifer Ward Leland directs.
Now, I think it gets a bit pervy with the
Don't get pervy. And cultural cringe morphs into national celebration.
we did some research into, some say, the Wahine disaster, and it's just amazing what some of the things happened. When the Wahine was sinking, all the people were given ice cream and soft drink, you know, and when Jean Batten arrived in the country, the mayor of the day, in front of the whole crowd of Auckland who were gathered, said, "Jean, you've been a very naughty girl for giving us all such a terribly anxious time here. You deserve a good spanking."
Other historic heroines, including Tammy from Briscoe's, make a brief appearance, sending a shiver down every home appliance buying Manchester bargain hunter's spine.
If I buy your picnic sets and bath mats and towels, Tammy, will you hold my hand?
Aroha Aotearoa. It's loving New Zealand for its historical humour.
Looks fascinating. Thank you, Kip, for your story. And you can catch Aroha Aotearoa at the Silo Theatre until April the 10th. Time now for a look at the entertainment headlines.
In entertainment news, it's a family affair. Kelly Osbourne has checked into rehab. The 19-year-old has admitted to having a problem with painkillers. A family maid found a stash of 500 pills under her bed. Kelly's younger brother Jack drove her to the clinic physically, not the other way. He'd know the way. He was in there last year. The family continued their policy of making sure everyone knows what they're up to. Ozzy and Sharon announced Kelly's new residence in an interview on Larry King Live. After a few golden years, investment in the New Zealand film industry is set to decline, apparently. The industry's been on a roll recently, with a lot of money coming in for productions such as The Lord of the Rings and The Last Samurai. In the year to March 2003, over $450 million was spent in New Zealand. A new report out says that this will fall rather sharply unless more big-budget movies are announced for filming in New Zealand. And sticking with the flicks, how well do you know your favourite movie scenes? Can you recite every line from Dirty Dancing or Labyrinth? A new craze taking off overseas and bound to arrive here soon is movieoki. Pretty self-explanatory, really. Participants choose their favourite scene and then provide all the voices as it's projected onto the screen behind them. Can't wait. And think you can do a pretty good impression of Homer? Well, sharpen up your dough. You may be in luck. The core cast of The Simpsons has gone on strike, holding up production of the show's 16th season. The 6 actors are asking for more money. Fair enough too. It must be hard living on $125,000 US per episode. They're asking for $360,000 US, which in our money is over $500,000 per episode. Ay caramba.
Maybe I should have studied voices at school. Earlier tonight, we told you about the price of posting a letter going up from 40 to 45 cents, and we asked how many of you still write good old-fashioned letters. The results?
The results, please, Evie. The results are 58% of you said yes, you do, and 42% of you said no. That's quite a lot still writing letters, actually. And those not writing letters would include Quirky, who says, I don't write letters to people because we've got all this high-tech stuff to use. Wake up to reality and don't be an oldie.
Okay, one here, excuse me, is from Trish. It says, I still write letters by hand, and even though you can send emails, which are quicker, not everyone has a computer, and you don't get viruses by sending it in the post. That's a good point. Thanks, Trish.
And here's one from Rangimarie Tangira. Texting and driving is just as bad as drinking and driving.
Yes, there's been a lot of text about that. People need to keep eyes on the road, not their phones. It only takes a second to crash before you text. It's that simple. It's kind of like when you're changing radio stations or changing CDs in your car, you know. Sometimes you can drive along the road and all of a sudden look up and think, what the hell's just happened in the last 3 seconds?
I have some news, Mike. Did you not notice anything different about me this evening?
Oh, no. Your hair?
No.
Your eyebrows? Are you engaged? Congratulations. Are you really? Oh, yay! There you go. Congratulations. Yeah, round of applause for Miss Ashton. Oh, congratulations. There you go.
Mike.
You're the first of the team, aren't you?
Yeah.
Hey, oh, that's so nice. You flustered me all now.
Yeah, I'm blushing.
Yeah. No, that's wicked. Are you going to tell us the name of your man? Okay.
He's watching.
On your way. Good work. Right, time for us to move on. We've got some books from Penguin to give you, and they are courtesy of Penguin, but you've got to be 18 or over.
Enough of the emails, though. We don't want any more emails, okay? You want these books, you've got to get out your pen, your paper, and your 45-cent stamp and write to us the old-fashioned way. That would be Flipside, P.O. Box 3819, Auckland.
We'll leave you tonight with Mr. On versus the Jungle Brothers. This one's called Breathe, Don't Stop. It's for Evie. And wait, good night. Congratulations.
Good night.
Yeah.
Baby, let me put you on my team. Shake it, lady, jump out your pants. Come on, let me see you do that funky brand new dance.